Hello and welcome. In today's exciting episode, I make not one but two dresses inspired by this Zimmermann color block shirt dress. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but I absolutely love the way that they turned out.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So this is the Zimmermann color block dress. It's a shirt dress. It's from a few years back now. And these are just some influencers wearing it. I've never actually seen a real person wearing it, just influencers paid to wear it. So yeah, it's got rickrack detail. It's done on the front to cover the top stitch sewing line, which secure their hems to the inside of the garment. So if you're thinking, that doesn't look very Zimmermann, you are correct. This is their standard fare, all these lovely romantic dresses with the loads of buttons down the front, beautiful detailed prints, florals, pastel colours. Yeah. So these are their normal dresses. They are very romantic and very, I guess, girly. But a few years ago, they did come out with this colour blocked shirt dress, and also there's a skirt version which has a few less panels in it. And of course there were loads of knockoffs, and I included that one on the right because it's got a metallic panel, which is hilarious. And of course you can do it in prints as well, obviously, but today I'm just going to do it with plain dyed fabric. And I do have some of these colours, but I just don't like this colour combination. So, and I don't want to just copy something that someone spent a lot of time and expense coming up with. So these are my fabrics, and I'm going to have a play around with them and find 8 or 9 fabrics that colours that go well together. I am still planning to do a bunch of maxi dresses using some of these plain dyed fabrics, but to make a colour block dress you just need like a 3-yard long bit, but only about 1/6 of the fabric. So the other 5/6 I'll use in a different dress, but I'll just need one really long strip to make a colour block dress of each colour. So yeah, that's why I got them all out. So yeah, I'm not abandoning all my other plans. I do also have these aqua and green one, but I kind of want to use them in something else, and I just find them a little bit jarring. I'd rather have all the gem and natural colours. Mixing those ones I can deal with, but not adding the super bright ones in as well. Anyway, so I'm going to look at these pictures and I'm going to try different combinations with my fabrics, and I will be back. Okay, it is pattern recommendation time. So we're looking for a shirt dress, we're looking for a puffy sleeve, and so these are all the shirt dresses we'll start with. And they're good for different reasons. So if you've got different strengths or weaknesses, Vogue is very good at a shirt with a shirt band and a shirt collar. So shirt stand, that like a 2-piece collar. Vogue instructions are very good, and better than McCall or Butterick or New Look, I would say. So this one is a really good one, but it's gorgeous, but I think it's better for one fabric because it has a lot of style lines at the back. If you don't like those sleeves, you just put a cuff on it or use a different sleeve. But as you can see, there's a lot of different pieces in the back vertically, which when you're making horizontal style lines for the different colors, you have to cut different style lines. So that might be a bit complex to get everything matching. There is this one, if you prefer a slightly off the shoulder shirt dress, and then you can achieve a fuller sleeve sometimes with a off the shoulder. I prefer an on the shoulder, but that's just because I have little shoulders. This one has a very, very clear placard. This is a good pattern, and it's a very simple vintage style pattern. Like, it doesn't have very many lines at all. If you see the back is like 2 pieces for the skirt, 2 pieces for the bodice. It's very clean and simple. It is a little vintagey, and you will need to have a collar from a different one. But it will be very, very easy to cut the style lines add the style lines into that one for each of the different color blocks. So I think that's probably good if you're a little bit shaky, but you kind of know a little bit about drafting. I think that one would work really well, very easily. These ones are slightly different. I just love this McCall's shirt dress. I just think she looks beautiful. I've done the sleeves of it. I haven't actually made a shirt dress, but those sleeves are just beautiful fit. Not relevant to this baggy dress, but I think this one here, so it's the pink one here. I think that's good. Again, you don't leave the sleeves all floppy like that. You just add a cuff. A cuff is just a long, straight bit of fabric. You can just take it from any shirt pattern you have, or just literally put a bit of fabric around your wrist and cut it, double it over and allow for seam allowance around all the edges. This shirt dress is absolutely adorable. It might be a bit tricky because it's a panelled skirt, cord skirt. So, if you're just really nervous about adding style lines and you don't want to worry about having to add seam allowance back every time you cut a style line, then this would be a really, really good pattern because it's already got 4 tiers in the skirt. So I think that one would be really good. There's also the Vogue kimono dress. I've got small shoulders, so it didn't really suit me, but I think it's a beautiful pattern in general and very easy to just draw straight style lines on. This is a 1952 summer dress with a sort of shirt top. It's collarless, but it's still got that shirt thing. And you could very easily change this into, it's already got 3 very distinct skirts. So you could very easily change that into 6, add two colours each layer. Or there's this one here, and you could just make the shirt one colour with the decoration a different colour, and then 3 different colours for the skirt. And if you're a bit nervous about altering patterns, I think that would just be so beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous the way it is, but I think that would be maybe something you wouldn't be too afraid of working on. But if you're a sewer with a bit more experience, I think you probably looked at this dress and went, okay, I've got a blouse sleeve, puffy sleeve, and I've got a shirt pattern that would be perfect. And then I'll just rip tiers for and add them to the bottom for the skirt. So that's what I was thinking the first time I saw it. This McCall's one is a pullover shirt, so you don't have to add buttons or anything like that. These Vogue shirts are just beautiful, clean, crisp, really beautiful. So instead of doing your seams, traditionally in a tiered dress or a tiered skirt, you put the seams to the side, whereas with a placket shirt dress with multiple tiers, what you do is have all your seams in the front center and covered with your placket. So your placket is just basically a long strip of one color. And your tier dress, all the tiers meet right at the front, and that way there's no joins. That would be pretty fabulous. This is a beautiful sleeve, this one here, but it's a 3-piece sleeve. So it's got cuff, bottom puffy bit, and then a sort of fitted shoulder. So that's interesting. But I think the other one next to it on the right, this one here, I think this is a perfect sleeve. And you just cut style lines into it. I don't think the actual bodice of the shirt is fitted enough, so I don't think it's a good one for that. I think this is a good one for a pullover. If you want a pullover dress that you just add tiers to, I think that's a good one. And then you could just add a baggy sleeve to that. Or these Vogue ones at the bottom, they're my personal favourite for just a plain, nice fitting shirt. These sleeves, I made them during Vlogmas, so December last year, that pale blue dress with the pink, with the red Christmas ornaments on it. If you want to go see a video where those sleeves are made, they're a good sleeve. This is a puffy sleeve. That's the puffy sleeve I use on most of my ruby dresses, if you've seen some of my other videos. So I absolutely adore this puffy sleeve. It is beautiful. I pleat it down rather than gather it. But just in general, that is a beautiful sleeve, and you'd need to lengthen it if you wanted a full length one. This is just a simplicity set of vintage sleeves. I think they are awesome. One of them all fit into a certain, like a standard bodice, whereas the other one is sort of might be a bit trickier for you. So the one on the right is the best one. And that pink sleeve in the middle bottom, I think it's D, would probably be the best fit, but everyone likes a different sleeve. So yeah, there are lots of options, and just wait for it to go on sale. The fabric stores and the pattern places often have sales on public holidays, or like Easter there was one, but also Mother's Day there's going to be another one. So yeah, just sort of when you have a free hour or so, look through all the shirt patterns or the puffy sleeves and write down the ones you want, and then I personally wait until there's a sale and sort of go click, 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 click. But yeah, so I think this one is a really, really good start. I would, I think it looks beautiful with one fabric or two, or like a contrasting one. But yeah, I think that's a beautiful pattern with, if you want an obvious placket. This collar is perfect. It's actually a really beautiful dress too. And this sleeve is the perfect puffy sleeve in my opinion. It's just beautiful. That's one I would use. But also, if I was nervous about altering anything and I just wanted a pattern to follow to the letter, I would probably go this one, because I think that is a really pretty dress. And it sort of teaches you a lot about doing different tiers and how everything fits together, and how you've got to do each tier just a tiny bit bigger than the last one so that all of them have gathers or all of them have pleats. And I think that's a good one. These two are just beautiful patterns that I want to use. Not really relevant to this Zimmermann dress, but they are just beautiful. They're just so vintage and stylish. I love them. So yeah, so that's it for the pattern recommendations, I think. Oh no, there was, this is sort of a more boho dress. And this has a zip at the back and no placard down the front. So if you're nervous about your placard not looking straight or something like that, that might be this might be a good option. And it's quite easy to just do 3 tiers, 3 strips for sew them together for the top tier, 3 for the bottom tier. And yeah, I haven't made the dress, but I've got out the instructions and gotten out the pattern pieces, and it looks like a really straightforward dress and beautiful. So I think that one's worth considering if you wanted something a little more bohemian. So that is the pattern recommendation section of the video over. Now let's get back to making these dresses. Okay, so these are the fabrics I'm working with, and this is the dress that sort of trying to recreate, sort of. And I think these are the 2 versions I'm going to make. So I'm going to make 2 summer dresses. It goes from the bottom green, pink, teal, plum, blue, a sort of greyish royal blue, then a dark red, then pink. And if I have to, I'll do another green and maybe plum on the top. The 2 hot pinks I've got there, one is very deep, rich magenta, and the other one's kind of got a little more light and white in it. So they are different. And then I'm going to have a sort of camouflage one. And this one, going from the top, I think I might, after I've used the top 2 just to do the bodice, then I might use them again on the bottom, maybe. I'm not really sure how many layers. I need 8 or 9 layers. Depends whether I go maxi or midi, really. Oh, and I decided I'm not going to do sleeves. These sleeves do look adorable, but I don't have the same type of figure as them. I've got teeny tiny shoulders, so I really think I need to do a sleeveless one just so that I can have some definition. Anyway, these are my fabrics. I am now going to go cut them out. Well, tear them into strips. And once I have done that, I'll be back. Oh my goodness, that took forever because I realized I had to work out exactly how much fabric I need for each dress. So some of the tiers you need like 12 yards, a loop of 12 yards, and some you only need 6. So I had to work out how much you need for the other dresses. So I drew up this, and this is basically just a maxi dress with a plain bodice, no sleeves. If you want to do a shirt dress, you sort of do the same, but add the sleeve amounts as well. So these are the two dresses I'm basing my calculations on. They're sort of on the orange one, there's 12 in the bottom loop, 6, then 3, then 1.5 yards. And yeah, if you want to make it roomier, you can. The rose one, with that one I had 4 yards of green and 4 yards of rose fabric. So that's sort of based on 2 yards, the top tiers, 4 yards, then 8 yards, then 12 yards. So you just sort of find however long your main piece of fabric is, then do multiples of that. For me, I usually just work with 2 yards or 3 yards or 4 yards. Those are the ones that I have a lot of, but you do you. So then I had to work out what I'm going to use in the other dresses, and then I could work out what I was safe with for these ones. So I've kind of kept the same order of the colours, but a couple of them I had to sort of juggle around just so the other dresses won't suffer. So, long story short, or short story long, this is the first one, the colourful one. And I think this is a pretty good one. And yeah, so the green is the bottom. And then this is the camouflage one. And yeah, this one took an absolute age because I ended up just doing the whole of, like, instead of just doing this straight away, I kept out all the brown bit and tan bits that I would need for the animal print one, and then used the spare stuff in the camouflage one. So yeah, it took forever, but I'm really happy with the result. So yeah, it's from the bottom, there's like a 12, then 2 3 6s, then 2 3 meter 3 yard loops, and then this small 1.5 yard loop, and then a couple of fabrics for the top. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. They don't totally resemble the dress, but I would never have worn that dress. So these are my ones compared to that one, and I'm really happy with what I've got. But obviously if you want to do the exact same one, then you just take a photo into the fabric store and buy them all. You may have noticed that in the original Zimmermann dress, at the thigh level, there's some of them have a cream layer and some of them have a beige layer. I think the cream was the original, but it's so see-through and transparent that people, I think, probably took their dress back and demanded a refund. So they changed it to beige, which is more decent and wearable in public. And then with the skirt, you'll notice that they just took out that layer altogether because I think it was probably too problematic. So just bear that in mind if you do want one that's kind of a dupe. I don't recommend that at all. But if you do, then either buy enough to line the see-through, the really light layers, or just put the light layers in a place where, like, you know, below your knee or at your stomach, something, yeah, where you are okay with them being. Anyway, I am going to go French seam all these together and pleat them down. And once I'm closer to resembling a dress, I will be back. Wow, these layer cake dresses take so much longer than you think they will take. Okay, so I have the skirt for the colourful one. I think the dark red one panel, it's very fashionista to have it that wide, but I'm not sure I like it. I think it's 3 yards loop. So I think if I had the time and the inclination, I would take it out, replace it, like cut it in half, rip it in half, and put it back in as a 6 yard loop. And that way the whole skirt would be a little bit shorter. And but I think the colours would work better. But this is cool. It's very fashionista. I haven't even started the camouflage one. So yeah, I have a choice. I can either do the bodice of the colourful one, but I feel like if I do that, then I'll only make one dress for the episode, and then I'll have to, yeah, find time to make the other one. So I'm not sure. I know for this colourful fashionista one, the skirt is a little long. It's maxi max. So I'm going to have to make a cropped bodice for that one. Whereas, yeah, so the orange one here has a medium midi bodice. It's about an inch and a bit lower. So, and if I use that length bodice on this dress here, it will be too long. So I'm going to have to use a cropped bodice. But like I did on the rose garden one, the rose with the green little panels in between that looks like grass. Yeah, so I'll do that. But I was thinking I'll use the midi length bodice for the camouflage one. And that way, once the two of them are made, I can compare the two and see which one I like better, like going forward for the next dresses. I might do that, which requires that I make the camouflage one now. Oof. These skirts are just so much work. They are just ridiculous. But once it's done, it's done. So they're totally worth it. But, oh my goodness, just the making of them. I've got an audio book, so maybe I'll just listen to the entire thing while I make the next one. So I did go ahead and make the camouflage one. It is my favourite. I knew that it would be. And there's sections in there that, it's just really, I love the mossy greens that I used. So then I went ahead and made the bodices. I used the Butterick 6677. This is for the camouflage one, obviously, and that's a medium length bodice. I've got a short torso, so I shortened it by 4.5 centimeters. And the berry with the chocolate on top, that is for the fashionista dress, and that's a cropped one. So I shortened that one by 9 centimeters. 9 centimeters is 3.5 inches. So now I have to carefully unpin these two and make them into dresses by sewing them together, obviously. So I will do that now. I'm really happy with the way that the 3 colours turned out for the bodices. I think they're really cute. Actually, the berry one sort of looks like it's only got 2 colours, so that's a little disappointing. But now I'm just showing you them without ties, and I'll put ties on them in a minute. But this is like from the front, from the side, and from the back. From the side, you can really tell the difference in the skirts. The fashionista one on the left side of the screen, that's sort of almost like a mermaid tail. Like the bottom 2 layers are 12 yards, a loop of 12 yards. And so from the top it goes 1.5 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 6 yards, 2 12s. Whereas this one goes, it goes, so the first layer of the green is 2 yards, then brown is 3 yards, that green is 4 yards, then 3 layers of 6 yards, and then 1 layer of 12 yards. So they are very different. But I like that they're both different. I think the mermaid tail look suits the fashionista one, and the camouflage one, which is sort of bigger and I think that suits that one too. It does make me wonder what I'm going to do with the other ones. So I think as a general rule, I think the camouflage one is easier to wear, but I sort of think somewhere between the two would be good. This is the back of them. The bodice is plain from the back, and I use the same brown on each. I really quite like it. I wish the camouflage one, and now I'm just sort of stretching out the skirt so you can see how massive they are. I really love the watermelon 2 bottom layers on the fashionista one, the watermelon. I think they're fabulous. So I think that having 2 layers of 12 looks absolutely fabulous. I think I should have had at least 2 layers of 6 on that one, and only 1 of 3. But I mean, it's still gorgeous. And this one, instead of having 3 layers that are a loop of 6 yards, I would have preferred it if I'd gone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that way there'd be pleating on every single level like there is in the original dresses. And now it is time to put some ties on these 2 dresses. I've used a Magical Forest print for this one. It's Paradiso by Sally Kelly. I think it's not very fashionista to use a print with plain colour blocking, but I really like this sash. And the other one, I've just used the green from the green dress I made for Vlogmas last year, And that one looks so gorgeous. It's so clearly my favorite. But I really like the Fashionista one too. It's growing on me. I didn't think I'd like it, but given the colours that I used, I'm actually going to wear this one. And I've got a bunch of different ties that, I think I'll wear it with a bunch of different ties just to try them all out. This is the more fashionista look. I've used a Burberry plaid ribbon as a tie, and in the original dress there's that beige layer, so it sort of ties that in. And I mean, I've got a beige suede Ralph Lauren bag. I could wear that with it. It's my script bag. It's like a big carry-all. And I think that looks pretty fabulous. It's definitely a gorgeous summer look. It makes it look more summery. This layer is actually a little bit, when the sun is behind it, it's a little bit see-through, just a little. So I'm glad I put it down one lower, sort of over the knees rather than on the upper thighs. I swapped around the dark red and the lighter red. So I think that was a good choice. So yeah, you really do have to hold up each fabric to the light, because you wouldn't think a deep red would be so, the sun would go through it so easily. But yeah, anyway, so these are my two dresses and they're very fabulous. I really love how they turned out, and yeah, highly recommend doing this. You can either buy like just 1 yard or 2 yards of each colour that you need, or you can, the professional way to do it is if you need a 6-yard loop of one colour, then you buy 6 yards and you just use a really thin, long strip of it, and then you use up the rest in something else. But each their own. I think both, I mean, I like using plain fabric for linings on other dresses, but yeah, I can see how it's wasteful if that's not something that you typically do. Love the way the pleating is done. In the original, they're all gathered, and I just think gathering looks a bit fast fashion. Pleating always looks more hand finished and handmade. So I guess I just, by habit, prefer pleating. But yeah, and I think that bow looks quite cute. But as I said, if you wanted something that had a more solid beige in it, you could just put a beige long sleeve t-shirt underneath. Like in the cooler months, I'll probably wear it with either a black long sleeve t-shirt, navy blue, or a beige long sleeve t-shirt underneath it. This one, I just love it so much. I am going to get out a jacket for this camouflage one and put it on it, because I think they will look absolutely gorgeous together. This one, I don't think I'll ever wear a jacket with it. This one definitely will. But see, these are all the different sashes I got out, because they pick up in different colours on, like, a couple of them are tealy navy ones, but they also go really well with quite a few other layers. And this vintage 1950s Christmas fabric that's sort of got a navy teal base, I think that sash would look fabulous with it too. So yeah, each time I wear it, I think I'll just wear a different sash with it. I think that would be fun. This other one, I think I'll stick to the green with that one, because it just looks so beautiful. I love it. I'm not tempted to try it with something else. I mean, I probably will eventually, but yeah. So I got out my Edinburgh Chanel. It's a Chanel tweed, and then I've overbeaded it with all these unique stones and beads and little precious stones and things. And yeah, I just think they look so well together. Absolutely gorgeous. That's my new favourite outfit for the moment. I kind of like this jacket with everything in the sort of, camouflage family of colours. I think it's beautiful. Oh, and I put a bright green ribbon on the Fashionista one. I also think that would look pretty fabulous with my Valentino bright green, like fluoro green handbag. That looks pretty fabulous. But as I said, if you wanted to make it look more like the original, then I'd probably go with my Ralph Lauren beige suede. And that's much more of a fashionista style look than I would normally wear. It's a little bit too not attention grabbing. If only fashion people knew this Zimmermann dress, then I'd totally wear this, but it sort of made its way over into the mainstream. And I'm always a bit wary of wearing something that's made it over into the mainstream. Oh, and this is the luggage label of a Ralph Lauren bag. They're gorgeous. They're so heavy. They're fabulous. But all the different fonts on them, I just think it's so funny. And yeah. Anyway, so these are my two fashionista summer dresses. I love the camouflage one, love it so much. But I also really, really like, particularly the pink and green layer of like the very bottom. It's kind of like a little watermelon trim on the bottom. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope you've been inspired to make a fashionista summer dress of your very own. They do take a while to make, so you sort of have to pace yourself and plan out what you're doing. Because I think if I'd, had a better idea of what each of the tiers looked like and how big they should be, then it would have been easier. It was a little bit stressful trying to guess how many layers I should have and, how wide each of them should be and what the steps in should be. I think, I've got quite a few other bits of piles of fabric that I'm going to make dresses out of. So I think with each one I'll make tiny little changes, alterations. And by the end, by the time I've made them all, I'll know exactly how many layers and, what increments are just perfect for me. So, anyway, thanks again for watching and I'll see you later.